Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you today, God sees who hurts you. You may have walked through seasons where betrayal broke your spirit, where rejection left a wound no one else could see. People may have smiled to your face and stabbed you behind your back, but let me encourage you, nothing is hidden from God. The silent tears you cried at night, the moments you held your breath to stay strong in front of others, the disrespect you endured, God saw every bit of it. He's not blind to your pain. He's not silent because He's indifferent. He's silent because He's working. He's arranging justice in a way that will not only heal your heart, but elevate your life. Scripture says, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord." That means you don't have to chase revenge. You don't have to clear your name or expose those who wronged you. You just have to stay in peace, stay in faith, and keep moving forward, because God keeps excellent records. And He will deal with those who dealt falsely with you. Sometimes the greatest strength is in your silence. Not every battle is yours to fight. There are times when God allows people to wound us, not because He's absent, but because He's developing something deeper in us. Wisdom, resilience, compassion. The very people who tried to destroy you may have actually helped to shape your destiny. Pain, when surrendered to God, always has a purpose. He doesn't waste a hurt. And even when it looks like the wicked are prospering and the honest are suffering, don't be discouraged. God's justice may not be instant, but it is inevitable. You see, God protects what He purposed. If He put greatness in you, no betrayal can cancel it. If He called you to something, no rumor, lie, or rejection can delay it forever. It may look like you're being overlooked, but God is preparing a table for you, and when He sets it, even your enemies will have to witness it. Forgiveness isn't weakness, it's trust. You're saying, "God, I release them because I trust You to handle what I can't." That's when real freedom begins. So don't let bitterness block your blessings. Don't let who hurt you determine how far you'll go. God sees it, God knows it, and God will repay it. But more than that, He will restore you, strengthen you, and use your story to inspire others. You are not forgotten. You are not forsaken. You are covered, seen, and lifted by a God who never misses a moment. Keep your head up, because what hurts you won't stop what God is about to do in your life. God is omniscient. That means He is all-knowing, all-seeing, and ever-present. Nothing escapes His attention. When you're mistreated, lied about, betrayed, or silently suffering, God is watching. Not in a passive, distant way, but with deep awareness and concern. It's easy to feel alone when people hurt you, especially when those wounds are emotional, unseen, or covered up by polite smiles and social masks. But no matter how well someone hides their cruelty, God sees it all. He doesn't need evidence, proof, or eyewitnesses. He saw the moment you were left out. He heard the words spoken behind your back. He knows the intention behind every action, even when others pretend to be innocent. This awareness isn't just observational. It's personal to Him. When someone touches His child unjustly, He takes it seriously. God is not passive about your pain. He does not overlook injustice. In the book of Exodus, God said to Moses, "I have surely seen the affliction of my people and have heard their cry." That means He doesn't just see your circumstances. He feels your pain. Every betrayal you've experienced, every back turned against you, every moment where you were wronged, God was right there, recording it. He's not ignoring it. He's not delaying because He forgot. He is delaying because He has a perfect time to respond. Many times we want immediate justice. We want those who hurt us to feel our pain or face consequences right away. But God's ways are higher than ours. His justice isn't impulsive or shallow. It's redemptive. He doesn't just expose what's wrong. He transforms what's broken. Sometimes He allows the process to go on a little longer, not to torment you, but to build something greater in you, maturity, discernment, strength. When you go through hardship, your spiritual muscles develop. You grow wiser, stronger, more compassionate. You start to see people differently. You begin to walk with a deeper reliance on God. It's important to know that just because others can't see your pain doesn't mean God doesn't. Some of the greatest wounds are invisible. They're emotional, mental, and spiritual. They leave scars not on the body but on the heart. Yet God sees them as clearly as open wounds. And He doesn't just see them, He promises to heal them. He is a God of comfort, a healer of the brokenhearted, a restorer of those who have been crushed. When others say, "It wasn't that bad," or "You should be over it by now," God says, "I understand. I'm with you. I saw it happen, and I'm not done working." You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to get even with those who harmed you. Why? Because God sees who hurt you. And if you trust Him, He will take care of it in ways you couldn't imagine. Sometimes the best thing you can do is release it. Release the offense. Release the bitterness. Release the urge to explain yourself. Let God handle what you can. His justice is precise, His timing is perfect, and His love for you is unshakable. So don't give up. Don't lose heart. The same God who saw your pain will also bring your healing, your restoration, and your victory. Keep trusting Him, because what He saw in secret, He will reward in the open. People may not always recognize the depth of your pain. Sometimes the hurt you experience is so personal, so quiet, that no one even notices. You go through your day smiling, doing what needs to be done, while inside you carry wounds that no one sees. The betrayal from someone you trusted, the hurtful words said behind your back, the way you were overlooked or treated unfairly, it all adds up. You try to stay strong, to keep moving forward, but deep down it feels like you're carrying the weight alone. That's where the comfort of knowing that God sees it all becomes so powerful. Even when no one else sees, even when others minimize your experience or ignore your pain, God doesn't. He is the God who looks beyond appearances. He sees what others miss. He understands what others dismiss. While people may see your outward appearance and assume everything is fine, God sees your heart. He sees the sleepless nights, the thoughts you never say out loud, the tears you wipe away before anyone notices. He's not unaware. He's not far off. His presence is close to the brokenhearted. His eyes are always on you. Not in judgment, but in love. He watches you with the compassion of a father who deeply cares. What people think is irrelevant compared to what God knows. Someone may believe you overreacted or that the situation wasn't serious, but God knows what you felt. He knows the weight of it, the spiritual toll it took. He knows how long you held it in, how many times you tried to forgive, how often you had to pretend you were okay just to survive the day. He sees your efforts to stay kind, to keep your heart pure even when you've been wronged. That matters to Him. He honors that kind of inner strength. God's ability to see the hidden places of your life is not just a source of comfort, it's a source of justice. When you feel like people got away with hurting you, remember that they didn't get away from God. He saw it, He took note of it, and He is not passive about it. He knows who was sincere and who was manipulative. He knows who used you, who slandered you, who mistreated you and then walked away as if nothing happened. And He will not allow those things to stand forever. His justice may take time, but it is never absent. He is working behind the scenes in ways you may not understand right now. So when you feel invisible, when it seems like no one notices what you've been through, rest in the truth that God sees it all. You are fully known, fully understood, and fully loved. Your pain is not insignificant. Your story is not overlooked. What hurt you is not forgotten. God has not only seen it, He has a plan to use it. He will bring healing, closure, and even blessing from what was meant to break you. You don't have to carry it alone. You don't have to wait for others to acknowledge it. God already has. And in time, He will bring beauty from your brokenness. What others didn't see, God saw. What others ignored, God will redeem. And where others failed you, God will never fail. One of the most difficult things to endure is waiting, especially when you've been hurt and you're longing for justice, closure, or healing. You might look around and wonder why the people who caused you pain seem to be thriving while you're still picking up the pieces. It's tempting to think that God isn't doing anything, that maybe He forgot, or worse, that He's allowing your suffering without reason. But that's not the truth. The truth is, God's delay is never His denial. Just because He hasn't moved yet doesn't mean He won't move. His timing is not based on your emotions, but on His divine plan, which is always for your good and His glory. In our human nature, we want things to happen immediately. If someone hurts us, we want to see the consequences right away. If we suffer, we want the comfort to come instantly. But God operates from a higher perspective. He sees the full picture. He knows what you need, when you need it, and how it will shape you. Sometimes what looks like delay is actually preparation. God might be strengthening your character, sharpening your discernment, or opening doors that require a certain level of maturity and resilience before you step through them. The delay is often where transformation happens. It's in the waiting that you learn to trust God beyond what you see. You begin to release control, to lean not on your own understanding, but on His promises. This builds your faith. And faith, not comfort, is what moves God. During these seasons, God is not only working on your behalf externally, He's doing something inside you as well. He's healing wounds you didn't even know were there. He's teaching you how to stand firm in truth even when lies are being spread. He's teaching you how to love yourself even when others have treated you as if you're unworthy. And here's something powerful to remember. When God finally acts, He does so in a way that leaves no doubt it was Him. His vindication is clear. His justice is complete. You won't have to announce it, prove anything, or force it. When God opens a door, it stays open. When He promotes, no one can demote. When He heals completely. So don't be discouraged by the delay. Don't let temporary silence make you question God's presence. He's there orchestrating things you can't yet see. Just because the story isn't finished doesn't mean it's going in the wrong direction. Also remember that while you wait, your posture matters. You can wait in bitterness or wait in expectation. You can complain or you can prepare. The right attitude in the waiting season can accelerate what God wants to do. Choose to worship while you wait. Choose to speak life over yourself. Choose to forgive those who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because it frees you to receive what God has for you. The delay is often a divine setup. It's the space between the pain and the promise, where growth happens, where purpose is shaped, and where God's grace sustains you. So don't lose hope. Don't give in to frustration. What feels like a delay is often divine protection or preparation. God hasn't forgotten you. He hasn't ignored what they did. He's simply waiting for the perfect moment to step in. A moment that will not only restore you, but elevate you. Hold on, because when God moves, everything changes, and He is never late. When someone hurts you deeply, it's natural to feel like you need to set the record straight, defend yourself, or somehow make them feel the same pain they caused you. But the truth is, that's not your burden to carry. The weight of vengeance, of justice, of making things right, it doesn't belong to you. That responsibility belongs to God. The Bible makes it very clear. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord, I will repay. This is not just a command, it's a promise. A promise that God sees everything. And in His time, He will bring justice in ways far greater than anything you could ever do yourself. You may feel like if you don't speak up, you'll never be vindicated. If you don't retaliate, the people who hurt you will get away with it. But that's a lie the enemy wants you to believe. The truth is, when you take matters into your own hands, you remove them from God's hands. You're telling God you don't trust Him to handle it. But when you release it to Him, you open the door for supernatural intervention. You allow God to act in ways that go beyond your understanding, and always in a way that protects your peace and preserves your destiny. There's a peace that comes from trusting God to handle what you can't. It's not weakness to step back and say, God, I give this to you. In fact, that's one of the strongest things you can do. It takes more strength to walk away from revenge than it does to seek it. It takes more courage to bless someone who cursed you than to curse them back. But this is what sets you apart. This is what elevates you above the people who hurt you. Not because you are better, but because you choose to rise above bitterness and live by a higher standard. When you let go of vengeance, you're not letting people off the hook. You're placing them on God's hook. He is a righteous judge. He doesn't need your help to deal with injustice. But what He does need is your obedience. He needs you to stay focused on your assignment, not distracted by your wounds. He needs you to keep your heart clean so He can pour new blessings into it. Bitterness is a poison that contaminates your spirit. When you hold on to offense, you block the flow of God's favor in your life. But when you release it, when you say, God, you saw it all, I trust you to deal with it, that's when freedom begins. Doesn't mean that what they did was right. It doesn't mean that you weren't hurt. It simply means you're choosing healing over hate, growth over grudges, peace over pain. God is a God of justice. He knows how to deal with every situation. He knows the full story, the motives, the lies, the manipulation, even the parts you don't know. And when He acts, He does so thoroughly. His justice is not, it's complete. And it always leaves you better, not bitter. So today, let go of the urge to fight back. Let go of the desire to make them feel what they made you feel. That's not your role. Your role is to trust. Your role is to heal. Your role is to move forward into the life God is preparing for you. A life that is far too valuable to be wasted on revenge. Remember, God sees who hurt you and He will take care of it. All you need to do is stay in position, stay in peace, and let Him be your defender. Sometimes the pain people cause doesn't just leave scars, it pushes you toward your purpose. It may not feel like it in the moment. When you're in the middle of betrayal, rejection, or disappointment, it feels like everything is falling apart. You might ask, why would God let this happen to me? But the truth is, God often uses pain as a tool to move us into alignment with our destiny. People who try to break you may actually be positioning you for breakthrough. The closed door, the harsh words, the unfair treatment, they can all become stepping stones to something greater if you allow God to work through them. There are moments in life where we become too comfortable, too familiar, or too connected to situations that are no longer part of God's plan for us. And sometimes God allows disruption to get our attention. That person who walked away didn't ruin you, they released you. That job you lost wasn't your end, it was a redirection. That painful experience wasn't your destruction, it was preparation. The enemy may have meant it for evil, but God can use it for your good. What they tried to use against you, God can turn into the very thing that catapults you forward. We see this pattern throughout Scripture. Joseph was sold by his own brothers and thrown into a pit, falsely accused and thrown into prison. Everything seemed to be going wrong, but in all of it, God was positioning him for the palace. The betrayal became the bridge. The pain became part of the process. And when Joseph finally rose to power, he was able to look back and say, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. That's not just a nice Bible story. That's your story too. The pain you're feeling now might just be pushing you into the next level of your purpose. But in order for that transformation to take place, you have to shift your perspective. Don't just ask, why did this happen to me? Start asking, what is this preparing me for? That mindset opens the door to growth. It allows God to take what hurt you and turn it into what helps you. You begin to recognize that people's rejection is often God's protection. Their criticism builds your courage. Their betrayal trains your discernment. The tears you cried in silence water the soil of your future success. And here's the beauty of God's process. Not only does He use pain for purpose, but He also brings restoration. He doesn't just help you survive the storm, He helps you thrive because of it. The very things the enemy thought would destroy you will become the reason you shine. That's how God works. He turns graves into gardens. He turns ashes into beauty. He takes what was meant to harm you and makes it part of your testimony. You come out stronger, wiser, and more spiritually mature. So don't despise your pain. Don't let bitterness take root. Don't give up in the middle of the process. Your pain has a purpose, and your story is not over. God is writing something greater than you can imagine. Trust Him with the parts that don't make sense yet. Hold on to your faith, even when it's hard. Because in the end, what hurt you will not be your downfall. It will be your launching pad. You're being punished, you're being prepared. You're not being broken down, you're being built up. And one day, you'll look back and see how every moment of pain was part of God's perfect plan to lead you into your purpose. When God places a calling on your life, no person, no betrayal, no attack can cancel what He has ordained. It doesn't matter who turned their back on you, who tried to destroy your reputation, or who worked behind the scenes to bring you down. If God has purposed something for your life, it will come to pass. People can delay it, people can discourage you, but they cannot stop the plan of God. He is not intimidated by your enemies. He is not surprised by your setbacks. And He doesn't change His mind about your future just because others mistreated you. God protects what He purposed. Sometimes when people hurt us, we internalize that pain and begin to question our worth or our destiny. We wonder if maybe we're not good enough or if somehow their actions will alter the path we thought we were meant to walk. But that's not how God works. His plans are not based on human approval. His favor on your life isn't decided by how others treat you. Even if someone tries to sabotage you, they cannot override what heaven has already written. You may be knocked down for a moment, but you are not out. God's purpose stands strong in your life. What you have to understand is that your calling is not fragile. It's not easily broken by other people's opinions. If God called you to something, He will preserve you for it, even if you have to go through fire to get there. Sometimes, the very people who tried to stop you are used by God to propel you forward. Their rejection may have pushed you to pray more. Their betrayal may have driven you to rely more deeply on God. Their criticism may have helped sharpen your vision. God uses it all. He is not wasteful. Even your pain becomes part of the preparation. It's important to stop giving people so much power in your mind. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, it wasn't fair. But they do not hold your future. God does. And if He allowed that pain, He intends to use it. He saw what they did. He knows what they said. He heard the private conversations. But instead of punishing them on your timeline, He's protecting and preparing you on His. Sometimes His silence is not His absence, it's His strategy. He's hiding you while He heals you. He's growing you while they think they've won. And when He's ready to elevate you, no one will be able to deny His hand on your life. There's a reason you're still here. A reason their actions didn't destroy you. It's because God put something in you that can't be erased by other people's brokenness. You carry purpose. You carry promise. You carry divine potential. And even if others try to damage your spirit, God's the one who restores and revives. He doesn't need a perfect path to get you to your destiny. He creates one through every obstacle. He's not limited by your past, and He's not shaken by your pain. So lift your head. Remind yourself of who you are and whose you are. You don't need their validation when you have God's affirmation. You don't need everyone to believe in you when the Creator of the universe has already chosen you. God protects what He purposed and what He started in your life. He is faithful to complete. Trust Him, even when it's hard. Believe that He's working even when you don't see it, because what He has for you, no person can take away. Your future is not in their hands, it's in His. And that is the safest place it could ever be. There are moments in life when you cry out and it feels like no one hears you. You walk through pain that no one acknowledges. You carry burdens in silence, hoping someone will notice, hoping someone will care, but no one shows up. No one asks how you're really doing. It's in those times that we often feel invisible, forgotten, or completely alone. But let me tell you something that can shift your perspective and restore your strength. God hears the cries of the innocent. Even when no one else is listening, God is. Even when the world is silent, heaven is paying attention. Every whispered prayer, every silent tear, every inner cry that never made it past your lips, God heard it all. Throughout Scripture, we see a recurring theme. God responds to the oppressed, the rejected, and the forgotten. He doesn't just notice the powerful or the loud. He leans in to hear the cries of those who are overlooked. When Hagar was cast out into the wilderness, broken and hopeless, it was God who found her. She called Him El Roi, the God who sees me. That same God sees you. You don't have to shout to get His attention. You don't need a crowd to validate your pain. God sees. God hears. And most importantly, God cares. You may feel like people have gotten away with mistreating you. They said things behind your back. They manipulated, lied, or turned others against you, and now they're living like nothing ever happened. Meanwhile, you're left picking up the emotional pieces, trying to move forward while the weight of injustice lingers. But let this settle deep in your spirit. God is not mocked. He is just. And while you may not see immediate consequences, His justice is not delayed. It's precise. He knows when and how to act, and when He moves, He does it in a way that not only brings justice, but brings healing too. There's a reason God takes the cries of the innocent so seriously. Because innocence doesn't mean perfection. It means purity of heart. It means you were wronged without cause. It means you didn't retaliate. You didn't wish harm in return. You chose the higher road, and God honors that. He treasures that kind of heart. He defends those who trust Him instead of taking revenge into their own hands. He lifts up the humble. He restores the broken, and He gives double for your trouble when you remain faithful. The enemy wants you to believe your prayers are powerless, that your suffering goes unnoticed. But the truth is the exact opposite. Heaven moves on your behalf. Angels are dispatched because of your prayers. God keeps every tear in a bottle, not one of them wasted. He's not just aware, He's active. He's lining up healing, restoration, and vindication. It may not come when you expect it, but it will come in a way that leaves no doubt it was God who did it. So don't grow weary in your waiting. Don't let the silence of others make you question the presence of God. He is with you, He is for you, and He is responding. Your cries are not lost in the wind. They are precious to Him. He's working behind the scenes, and when He brings you out, He will bring you out stronger, wiser, and full of peace. What others didn't hear, God heard. What others ignored, God recorded. What others dismissed, God is about to redeem. Keep praying, keep believing, and know that the God who hears the cries of the innocent will never leave you unheard. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. People think that when you forgive someone who hurt you, you're excusing their behavior or pretending the pain didn't happen. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Forgiveness is not about them, it's about you. It's about setting yourself free from the prison of anger, bitterness, and emotional weight that keeps you tied to the very pain you want to escape. When God calls us to forgive, He's not asking us to minimize what happened. He's showing us the path to healing. Because holding on to resentment doesn't punish the one who hurt you. It poisons your own soul. When someone deeply wrongs you, especially without apology or acknowledgement, forgiveness feels impossible. Your mind replays the offense. Your heart stays stuck in the past. You think, if I let this go, they win. But forgiveness isn't surrendering to the offender. It's surrendering the offense to God. It's saying, God, I trust you to handle what I cannot. I release them from my judgment and place them in your hand. That is an act of faith. It takes spiritual maturity to forgive, especially when the other person isn't sorry or still doesn't understand the damage they caused. But forgiveness is your decision, not their request. And here's the truth. When you forgive, you take back your power. You stop giving the person who hurt you control over your emotions. You stop letting them occupy space in your mind and heart. Bitterness drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and stunts your growth. But forgiveness clears the way for peace, for clarity, and for spiritual breakthrough. It opens your life for God's blessings. It removes the blocks that hinder your emotional and spiritual progress. God wants to pour new things into your life, but He can't do it if your heart is filled with old pain. You don't have to feel like forgiving to choose to forgive. Forgiveness is not an emotion, it's a decision. Sometimes you have to forgive by faith, and the feelings catch up later. You say, God, this still hurts, but I choose to forgive. I choose to let it go. And when you do that consistently, God begins to heal what they broke. He begins to fill the cracks with His peace. He gives you a sense of wholeness that doesn't depend on an apology, justice, or closure. It comes from knowing that you are not alone in your healing. God is working on your behalf. You may think, but they don't deserve forgiveness. And you're right, maybe they don't. But neither did we, yet God forgave us. That's the beauty of grace. When you forgive, you're not denying justice, you're transferring it. You're saying, I'm not going to carry this anymore. God, you deal with it. That's not weakness. That's strength. That's wisdom. And that's where freedom begins. Forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. You can forgive someone and still have boundaries. You can release someone from your heart, but not re-enter a toxic relationship. Forgiveness means you're no longer held hostage by what they did. You're choosing to heal, to rise, and to grow beyond what they tried to destroy. You're choosing your peace over your pride. You're choosing your future over your past. So today, take the step. Not because they asked, not because they earned it, but because you deserve peace. Because you don't want to carry this into another season. Because God has more for you, and holding on to old wounds will only hold you back. Forgive. Not to let them off the hook, but to take your heart off the cross. Let it go and let God lift you into a new level of healing, peace, and freedom. There are moments in life when you feel forgotten, when it seems like no one noticed what you endured, what you gave, or what you lost. You might wonder if your silent suffering was all for nothing. But let me tell you this truth that brings comfort and strength. God records what others forget. While people may overlook your sacrifices, ignore your pain, or dismiss your integrity, God never does. He is not just watching, He is recording. Every act of kindness, every prayer whispered through tears, every time you chose to do the right thing, even when it hurt, it's all written in heaven's book. The world often rewards the loud, the visible, and the dramatic, but God sees in secret. He values faithfulness in the unseen moments. The times you held your tongue when you wanted to lash out. The times you stayed instead of walking away. The times you chose love when hate would have been easier. You may not have gotten a thank you. You may not have been acknowledged. But heaven saw it. And God keeps perfect records. Nothing is lost with Him. Nothing is wasted. He collects your tears. He hears your cries. He knows the full weight of your decisions, even when no one else does. There's something incredibly comforting in knowing that God sees the things we thought went unnoticed. That apology you gave that wasn't received, He saw your humility. That generous gift you gave without wanting recognition, He saw your heart. That patience you extended to someone who didn't deserve it, He saw your restraint. And when the time is right, He will reward you openly. The blessings that are coming your way won't be random. They'll be the result of everything you did in the dark, in silence, in secret, when only God was watching. You don't have to prove yourself to people when you know God is keeping score. You don't have to fight for credit, demand validation, or try to force people to see your worth. Your value is not determined by applause, it's determined by your alignment with God's purpose. And He never overlooks what matters. When others forget, He remembers. When others discard, He collects. Your story is safe with Him. This truth is especially important when you've been hurt and no one took your side. When you were blamed unfairly, misunderstood, or taken advantage of. It's painful when people believe lies about you or when those who did you wrong walk away without consequences. But you must trust that God saw everything, every word, every intention, every moment. His justice isn't based on rumors, it's based on truth. And He's not just keeping track to punish others. He's keeping track so He can restore you. There's a reward for the faithful. There's restoration for the broken. There's elevation for the humble. So don't get discouraged when it feels like no one sees what you're going through. Don't give up because you feel overlooked. God has not missed one moment of your journey. And what He's recorded in secret, He will honor in public. Stay the course. Keep your heart pure. Keep doing the right thing even when it's hard, because your reward is not coming from people. It's coming from God. And when He rewards, it will be undeniable. What others forgot, God remembered. What others ignored, God cherished. What others treated as small, God is using to build something great. Stay faithful. Your record in heaven is full of seeds that will one day bloom in ways you never imagined. Sometimes you look around and wonder why things haven't changed yet. You've prayed, stayed faithful, done your best to forgive, and held on even when it was hard, yet it still feels like you're stuck, like your breakthrough is delayed, like the people who hurt you are getting ahead while you're being overlooked. But let me tell you something that will encourage your heart. God will elevate you in due time. Not a second too early, not a minute too late. When God is ready to lift you up, no person, no circumstance, no betrayal can hold you down. Revelation is not always immediate because God is more concerned with your foundation than your position. Before He lifts you, He builds you. Before He promotes you, He prepares you. That's why it can feel like nothing is happening on the outside while everything is shifting on the inside. He's developing your character, stretching your faith, and deepening your trust. He's making sure that when you rise, you're not shaken by opposition or blinded by pride. Sometimes He allows delays to protect you from things you can't yet see. People who aren't for you, places you're not ready for, or opportunities that look good but aren't good for your purpose. The people who tried to keep you down don't control your destiny. Their words, their actions, their rejection, none of it can stop what God has planned for you. Their behavior may have caused some temporary pain, but it can't block a permanent blessing. God doesn't elevate based on popularity, status, or approval from others. He promotes based on faithfulness, humility, and surrender. When your heart is right, your time will come. And when it does, it will be undeniable that it was God who did it. You don't have to force your way forward. You don't have to manipulate or compete. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. All you need to do is stay faithful. Stay obedient. Keep showing up even when it feels like no one is watching. Keep doing the right thing even when others choose the wrong path. Because every seed you sow in faith is preparing the ground for your elevation. You may not see the fruit yet, but it's growing beneath the surface. And in due time, when the season is right, it will break through in full bloom. What's beautiful about God's timing is that when He elevates you, no one can take credit for it. Not you, not your connections, not your circumstances. Everyone will see that it was the hand of God. The same people who doubted you, overlooked you, or walked away from you will have no choice but to witness what God has done in your life. And when He opens the door, it will be one that no man can shut. So don't let discouragement take root in your heart. Don't let the delay convince you that you've been denied. Delay is often the setup for something greater than you expected. Your promotion isn't being withheld, it's being perfected. Your elevation isn't being ignored, it's being orchestrated. Trust the process, trust the preparation, and most of all, trust the God who sees you, knows you, and is committed to lifting you up when the time is right. Hold on to your faith, keep your heart clean. Don't stop sowing in silence, because your public reward is coming. And when it does, it won't just be a new level, it will be a new season, a new atmosphere, a new beginning. What felt delayed will soon be revealed, and it will be clear to all. God elevated you, and it was worth the wait. When you're going through pain, it's natural to question the purpose of it all. You wonder why you had to endure such deep hurt, why people treated you so unfairly, or why you had to experience rejection, betrayal, or abandonment. But here's a powerful truth. God never wastes pain. Every tear, every heartbreak, every silent struggle, it all has a purpose. What you walked through may have felt meaningless at the time, but in the hands of God, it becomes the very tool He uses to shape your character, elevate your spirit, and prepare you for the greater calling on your life. Pain is often the classroom where some of the most valuable lessons are taught. It's in pain that we learn to pray with more sincerity. It's in brokenness that we learn how to depend on God and not just on ourselves or others. Pain humbles us. It strips away our pride. It forces us to confront the areas in our lives that need healing, growth, and transformation. While no one enjoys the process, those who endure with faith come out of it with a deeper understanding of who they are and who God is. Pain can push you toward your purpose in ways that comfort never could. Think about the people in Scripture who were used mightily by God. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers and thrown into a pit before he was elevated to the palace. David was hunted by Saul for years before becoming king. Esther faced the threat of death before she saved her people. Every one of them experienced pain that made no sense in the moment. But in the end, it all pointed to destiny. The pain didn't stop their purpose, it prepared them for it. And the same is true for you. What you went through did not disqualify you. It was part of your training. Sometimes the pain is what makes your message more powerful. Your testimony carries weight because you didn't just read about the storm, you lived through it. You didn't just hear about heartbreak, you felt it. And because of that, your voice, your story, and your journey can encourage others in ways that go beyond surface level inspiration. Your healing becomes someone else's hope. Your scars become a symbol of God's grace. The very thing you thought would break you becomes the proof that God can restore, redeem, and rebuild anything. God uses pain to realign your perspective. You stop focusing on what doesn't matter and start valuing what does. You become more grateful, more empathetic, more intentional. You begin to see people through a lens of compassion instead of judgment. Pain softens your heart. It opens your eyes, and when surrendered to God, it leads to growth that lasts. There are blessings that only come after brokenness, wisdom that only comes through woundedness, and strength that only comes from struggle. You may not see the full picture right now. You may still be walking through the shadows. But take comfort in this. Your pain is not in vain. God is doing something in you that will one day show through you. He's preparing you, not punishing you. He's shaping your future, not wasting your past. The very things that brought you to your knees will be the things that lift you into your next season. So don't run from the pain. Don't curse the process. Instead, invite God into it. Let Him teach you, grow you, and heal you. Because in His hands, your pain becomes purpose. Your mess becomes a message, and your story becomes a testimony of His goodness. You won't just survive, you'll thrive, because nothing is ever wasted in the hands of God. There comes a time in your journey when you must stop looking around for validation and start looking up for direction. People may fail to see your value. They may not recognize your potential or understand your heart. They may misjudge you, ignore you, or even try to break you. But here is a truth that will set your spirit free. God is your vindicator. You don't need people to agree with you, to approve of you, or to defend you. When God steps in to defend you, His voice silences every lie, every rumor, and every attempt to discredit what He has placed inside of you. Vindication from God is different from revenge. It's not about causing pain to those who hurt you. It's about God lifting you up in such a way that even your enemies will have to acknowledge His hand on your life. It's about being elevated not through manipulation or striving, but through quiet obedience and trust. When you allow God to be your defender, He will open doors that no one can shut. Prepare tables in the presence of those who tried to stop you, and crown you with favor that no human can take away. His justice is not delayed, it's divine. The problem with trying to vindicate yourself is that it steals your peace. You end up spending your energy proving yourself to people who have already made up their minds. You get distracted from your purpose. You begin to live in reaction rather than intention. But when you trust God with your reputation, your name, and your destiny, you begin to walk in peace. You no longer feel the pressure to control how others see you. Instead, you focus on becoming who God called you to be, regardless of what they say, think, or do. God sees the false accusations. He hears the gossip. He knows the full story, the hidden motives, the unspoken truths. And while others may form opinions based on fragments, God sees with perfect clarity. He doesn't just see what happened, He sees your heart. He knows the times you stayed silent instead of clapping back. He knows the moments you chose grace over retaliation. He saw the strength it took to walk away instead of exploding, and He honors that. In His time, He will speak for you louder than your words ever could. The season of being misunderstood is not permanent. The people who hurt you won't always hold the narrative. God is rewriting the story. He is setting the record straight, and when He does, it won't be subtle. His vindication will be undeniable. The same mouths that criticized you will be silenced. The same eyes that looked down on you will witness your rise. The same hands that tried to block you will be unable to stop your breakthrough. Because when God says it's your time, no force in hell can delay it. While you wait, stay faithful. Keep your heart clean. Don't let bitterness take root. Don't let resentment grow. Trust that God sees the full picture, and He will deal with every situation according to His wisdom. Let Him fight the battles you cannot. Let Him defend you in rooms where your voice isn't present. Let Him shine light on what's been hidden in darkness. Because when God vindicates you, it will not just be about proving you right. It will be about showing the world what His grace, favor, and power look like on a life that stays surrendered. So hold your head high, keep walking in integrity. You don't need to beg for acceptance or chase approval. What God has spoken over you will come to pass. And when He lifts you, it will be clear to everyone that it was His hand, not your hustle, that brought you through. Your vindication is coming, and it will be beautiful.